Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning with the latest in California, apocalyptic, war zone, complete devastation. Those are just some of the words used to describe areas around LA that have been destroyed by several active wildfires. Fueled by unrelenting winds and drought conditions, firefighters are struggling to get the upper hand. Maribel Gonzalez is in Pacific Palisades, one of the worst hit areas, with more.
Something this big and this fast that, kind of just wiped out the whole town was something that I personally, and I think a lot of people from around here, never saw coming.
Unrelenting wildfires are continuing to ravage parts of Los Angeles County Thursday, causing tens of thousands of residents to flee and more ready to go at a moment's notice.
And I saw a big ball of orange with the smoke, so it looked like it was here towards the top of the hill. And I went back to the house and got some things.
The Palisades Fire has destroyed more than 1,000 structures, making it the most destructive in LA County history.
Everything is just gone, and I just want to wake up from this bad dream.
And the Eaton fire has quickly reduced much of the Altadena area to ash and rubble.
This is our retirement. This is our nest egg. This is where we moved in when we got married.
The nearby city of Pasadena told residents that the water there may be unsafe to drink because of debris from the Eaton fire, and the health concerns are mounting. The air quality across Southern California has been deemed a hazardous 6 out of 6 because of all the smoke and ash swirling around.
We couldn't breathe anymore. And we had all the filters going in the house. We had HEPA filters and nothing seemed to work.
In Pacific Palisades, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Closer to home, multiple fire departments responded Wednesday afternoon to a structure fire along Highway 75 south of the town of Union. That's in southeast Nebraska. Firefighters from NECC first arrived at the scene said they found a large machine shed on fire with cold winds blowing flames toward a nearby residence. Dozens of firefighters responded to contain the fire to the building. The fire to the structure was primarily under control after about 2.5 hours, but firefighters stayed at the scene trying to access the building's contents to extinguish the smoldering fires within. No word yet on a cause of the fire or if there were any injuries. Nebraska's latest legislative session got underway Wednesday morning, a busy day at the state capitol. Jake Bartecki has our recap.
The 109th Nebraska legislative session is underway as Nebraska's 49 state senators met at the Capitol building in Lincoln to kick things off on Wednesday morning. The first day's agenda, including things like setting the foundation of the session, such as deciding boards and the 14 committee chairpersons. There's also 17 new senators, over a third of the legislative body. Main issues and topics of discussion for lawmakers include a budget shortfall and the ongoing push for relief of property tax. The priority for state budget comes as the state is projected to run $432 million short in the next 2 fiscal years. If swift action isn't taken, estimates show that the budget hole could grow up to $1.13 billion by the middle of 2029. Speaker John Arch and Senator Myron Dort of District 30 with thoughts on how to solve the problem.
The Appropriations Committee then starts working that line by line. They will go through all of that budget and make those adjustments and have hearings on all of that. Then it comes to the floor and we have more debate. I would say the budget is probably going to be our #1 issue this year as far as large bills that we will have to debate.
When we work through the process, we have all the agencies in and stuff. We'll see where we can start maybe pulling some back, or we'll also have the governor's budget. We will start paring them down and seeing where everything fits together. I always tell people it's like a big giant puzzle. It will be done during this session. That puzzle will work. It will all fit in there. It's just a matter of getting to that point.
As day 1 wraps up, attention now turning to day number 2, where inaugural ceremonies will take place. It's also the first day that senators are allowed to introduce new bills. At the Capitol building, Jake Bartecki, News Channel Nebraska.
The U.S. government has expanded testing of the nation's milk supply to better track the spread of bird flu, but Nebraska is still not on the list. The Department of Agriculture says 15 additional states have enrolled in the program. That brings the total to 28 states, accounting for nearly 65% of the nation's milk production, although Nebraska has not yet enrolled. H5N1 bird flu has been spreading in dairy cattle since March. No herds in Nebraska have been confirmed as infected, but there have been cases in all of our neighbor states except Missouri. Infectious disease experts have called for expanded testing since the beginning of the outbreak. USDA testing has already detected new bird flu cases in dairy herds in California and Texas. In southeast Nebraska, the Gage County Board has approved the county's final contract offer to the Fraternal Order of Police Local, representing sheriffs and sergeants, deputies, and corrections officers. But as Doug Kennedy reports, this is far from over.
The 6-1 vote was essentially moot since the FOP had already filed to take the dispute to the Nebraska Commission on Industrial Relations to sort out. Supervisor Emily Haxby said the county appreciates the service of its law officers, but added compensation has gone up in recent years with implementation of 12 to 14% increases, subsequent hikes of 10 to 17%, and now the most recent offer.
With the most recent inflation rate at 2.7%, we believe our current offer for wage increases is appropriately aligned. The FOP offer was rejected by our board, included wage increases ranging from 9.68% to 17.86%, and an increase of 220% in the comp and holiday time. To put those percentages in perspective, we would see a rough increase of about $250,000 to our budget. What do we cut to fit that? Is it 4 less cars? Do we cut services and employees in other areas? Is it less equipment? Or do we go to the taxpayers and ask for more?
Board Chairman Eric Tiemann voted no on the county's final contract offer, saying the real problem is a system for handling wage disputes that is skewed, one that many counties face. Supervisor Gary Lytle, who chairs the board's Law Enforcement Committee and was involved in the negotiations, said there wasn't a whole lot to say other than the county stated its final offer. Sheriff Millard Gustafson fears cuts that may have to be made if the county doesn't get a favorable ruling before the CIR. From Beatrice, Doug Kennedy, News Channel, Nebraska.
A cornerstone building on the campus of Northeast Community College is getting a complete remodel. Hanky Hazelton spoke with campus leaders about why this project will be so transformative.
The mechanical systems had reached their useful life, so it was important that all of that be replaced. The building was also designed in a style in the 70s. It was like a figure 8. And so there were very wide corridors that if you didn't know where a room was, you just kept walking around that figure 8 until you found it. So it was built it wasn't an efficient building, so you weren't using space to its maximum.
With a majority of classes taking place at the McClay on a daily basis, another big change is to bring in the workforce development units.
Our extended campus leadership team, our adult education program, being in that same building with many of our faculty and our classroom environments. So it really allows for us to have a seamless academic program for the learners that we serve.
Due to the building being structured in a figure 8 like Dr. Barrett mentioned, the old McClay had many areas without windows and sunlight, but now that will all be changed for the better.
We've really focused on making sure there's natural light in the building all the way around the building, but also coming from a raised area. It's designed in a way, beautiful architecture that just is going to allow sunlight to come into the middle of the building as well, which I think will really make it a more welcoming environment for students and for people that have offices.
To keep Don McClay's memory alive, historical pieces of his life will be on display for those past and present students to admire and remember all about his work.
I think it's really important to be able to give those nods to our history, and he really was such an important part of the beginnings of Northeast Community College, and so, recognizing him in that space will continue to be such an important part.
Reporting from Northeast Community College, Hanky Hazelton, News Channel, Nebraska.
And finally, the newest inductees into the Nebraska Scholastic Wrestling Coaches Association Hall of Fame have been announced, and among the honorees, a coach from Valentine who's led his team to multiple state records. Casey Wannenberg sits down with the newly minted Hall of Famer to uncover the secrets behind his success.
and I don't have to chase it. Okay, now I'm right here.
At 52 years old, this new Nebraska Hall of Fame wrestling coach
take the shot to it.
Shows that even legends aren't afraid to pin down new challenges.
Good.
This is Shane Ellison's second year coaching Valentine girls junior high wrestling.
I'm learning the differences between girls and boys. Wrestling's wrestling, but you kind of use some different techniques.
While coaching young girls may be new to Ellison, he's no stranger to the mat. The Valentine man wrestled not only in high school, but also college.
I wrestled at UNO under Coach Mike Denny. He's a legend.
After college, Ellison started coaching himself. Over the past almost 3 decades, he's worked with hundreds of student athletes, including 18 years as Valentine High School's head coach.
Our goal was to always win a state championship. That was our goal every year, to win it as a team and to win individual state championships. But our purpose was to turn boys into men, now young girls into ladies, you know.
During Ellison's time coaching Valentine High School, he won 5 state championships and 6 runner-ups.
From 2011 to 2020, that decade, we got 7th in 2011, and we never placed out of the top 4 after that.
Ready for a quick takedown of some of Ellison's other highlights? Valentine holds state records for highest points scored at the state tournament, the most champions in a single year, and the most pins.
I've coached, I believe, 24 state champions here in Valentine, 29 total. I think 99 placers.
Some of those athletes, like Drake Jansen, now help others fall in love with the sport.
It's been a journey with him, and he's just a great, great person.
While Ellison is honored to join the Nebraska Hall of Fame, he says his biggest win has been working on the hearts and minds of young athletes.
We want respectful, hardworking, good young men going out in society. That's how you measure success. I mean, the championships are just a reflection of the type of people that you've worked with.
Because the true legacy of a coach isn't just built on the mat.
Oh, that's all right. Try again.
It's found in the lives shaped one takedown at a time. In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.